Is owning an assisted living facility a path to big profits or just breaking even? Let's crunch the numbers. The income of an assisted living owner can vary widely depending on several factors, including the size of the facility, the location, the level of care provided, even occupancy rates and the services offered. So let's break it down. Starting with the size of the facility or home. The bigger it is, or the more residents you have, the more income the home will be bringing in. That's where the income comes from, the residents. So if you open a 6-bed RAL, you'll only ever be able to make whatever the cost of care is times 6. But if you open a 16-bed, the margin becomes much bigger. Next huge factor is location. Depending on where you live or where the home is, the cost of care is going to increase or decrease, and this will aid or take away from the income of the home. If you are offering a higher level of care, meaning that the senior needs help with a lot of their activities of daily living or ADLs, it's going to cost them more to stay in an assisted living. But if they don't need much help at all, it will cost less. Of course, the higher your occupancy rate is, the more money you'll bring in. And then finally, whatever amenities or services you offer could add to your bottom line as well. The average cost of care right now in California as a state is $6,250. And this is going to vary greatly depending on what city you're in, and then even within the city where exactly the RAL is. Many people rely on government funding to pay for their care needs, and that won't cover much. So lots of residents end up paying private pay rates to stay in assisted living, and this could be up to 2 times that average rate. I often hear of RALs charging between $5,000 and $15,000 per month per resident based on the care needs, location, and amenities. And I want to break down the numbers for you in just a moment. But if you're looking to open an RAL, make sure you check out this video right here on YouTube where I share the 5 steps to getting started. The largest expense in any RAL is going to be your staffing. They will account for 40 to 50% of your total expenses. So you need to stay as full as possible to keep the income coming in. Profit margins can range from 10 to 30% depending on the efficiency of the operation and of course the market conditions, but the range to aim for is tighter at 15 to 25%. That's very fair, and you should be able to make that on all RALs. You really want to be breaking even around 70%, and you want the gross income to be over $50,000 minimum so your net can be decent. So let's run the numbers. If you were to open a 6-bed home in Santa Rosa where average rates are $7,250, $1,000 more than the state's rates, you may end up charging somewhere around $8,000 since you're going to do private pay. So 8 times 6, that's $48,000 coming in every single month. A little bit less than our $50K minimum we want to see, but let's keep working. The cost of housing is astronomically high in California, so let's put it at $12,000 a month on the mortgage right there. Since you're going to need a really nice home in a nice area with 300 to 500 square feet per resident, probably at least 4 bedrooms, it's easily going to cost you over $1 million. And then to run the home, the expenses for a 6-bed home out in California will probably be around $30,000 a month since staff cost so much in California. Well, let's be real, everything costs a lot in California. But that means that one home would be bringing you in $6,000 a month. Take home to you, the owner operator. Now, I always say, live where you want and invest where it makes sense. If you were to run the same projections, but for a 16-bed home in St. Cloud, Minnesota, where the average cost of care is $8,635. So if we don't do anything average around here. So let's say we charged a little more, just like we did in California. Let's bump it up to the nice even number of $9,000 times 16 residents. That's $144,000 coming in on your gross profit line. But the house is going to cost more because we need to house 16 people. But it is Minnesota, not California. So it's not anything insane. We could probably put something down for about $20,000 a month on the mortgage to afford us something really nice for them. It may cost us about $70,000 to run the home for expenses, but that leaves us with $54,000 a month in net profit. Woo! That is a huge difference from our 6-bed making us $6,000 a month, all because of a couple factors. Location being number one, amount of residents and cost of residents. These are really those determining factors on how much you can cash flow. The more seniors you have, the better, because it's the same amount of work for you as the REL owner, but you're getting paid for it. I can't understate this one enough. Location is everything. And side note, one REL is great, but we encourage you having a 3-pack at the REL Academy training. So the question has now been conquered, right? Do REL owners make money? If they're doing it right, heck yes. The margins are great and there is a massive need and we don't have enough beds. This is an incredible opportunity for you to cash flow on maybe a piece of real estate you already own or a brand new home you want to get started with. Either way, this is the wave of the future. Are you ready to ride it?